Welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. My name is Mike. I'm the moderator in the series of videos that is all about Persian rugs and handmade carpets from around the world. Hope you and your family are doing well. And in this video, I want to follow up on, this is basically a part 2 of a video that I took about a week ago that I'm also going to be putting the link in the description, and that was about Persian Kelim rugs, and also not just Persian Kelim rugs. I featured those like this piece right here in my last video and gave you some details, information about them. But in this video, I'm going to introduce you to other types of handmade Kelim rugs that are not Persian. For example, we have a beautiful with a contemporary modern design that are made, actually they're made for us in Afghanistan. And then here we have a classic Moroccan Kelim rug. And so I thought in this video I'm going to do two things. First of all, like I said, being a continuation of the previous video, I'm going to take the Persian Kelim rug and we're going to toss it. This is all about other types of Kelim rugs that you may be interested in, and these are very popular, especially with the younger crowd. These are handmade carpets. These are Kelims, and as I've talked about in the previous video, Kelims are basically carpets where there's not a pile. And Kelims have been made for centuries throughout the world. There are a lot of people that would like to take credit for them. We have had it, when you talk about, for example, since we got Morocco here, I think the entire North African culture has woven Kelim rugs. And in fact, we've seen also older pictures of people as far south in Ethiopia, for example. Ethiopia. We have also seen, for example, Native American, both Southern America as well as Northern America. The Kelims are almost like a tribal rugs. These are oftentimes used as not just flooring, but they can also be used as decor rugs. In the old days, these used to be also used as table covers, beddings. So there's literally all kinds of usage for the Kelims. And in my personal opinion, I always think of Kelims as being like an in-between a towel and a carpet, a rug. So if you were to look at the two, you will see that, you know what, this is not something that you're going to use to dry your body with, but it has that same type of an idea of where you basically just have the flooring. But they've been around for all over the world, like I said, Northern Africa, Central Africa, same in Asia. You can go from China, Tibet, all the way, you can go west towards Turkey, the Russian Caucasus area, same in the Middle East. You're going to find just about everywhere they have made the Kelim types of rugs. The popular ones, besides the Persian ones, are Kelims like for example, here we have Morocco. The Moroccan Kelims, extremely popular. Again, these are handmade. Some of them are hand knotted and woven in different mannerism. And as I always do, when I get behind the camera in a little bit and I show you some of the features, you'll see that they are very unique. Everyone is different. But these are also typically inexpensive compared to big normal traditional Persian rugs. And one of the things that I really want you to know about the Kelim rugs is that if you're going to buy one, and especially if you're going to be putting it on a floor, if this is going to be something that you're going to be stepping on, do yourself a favor, get a rug pad. Put something underneath the Kelim that will make sure that it's not going to slip and slide. Because these rugs are very light, they're very, I don't want to use the word flimsy, but they're definitely not really that sturdy. So if you go, or if you have kids, if you walk, or like if the kids go running, or if you got pets in your home, the dog starts running, well, they're going to be, that rug is going to be slipping and sliding all over the place. So a rug pad definitely, I think it would be of benefit, and you can buy them nowadays. In the old days, it used to be difficult. You had to go to the rug stores. But nowadays, you can get rug pads just about anywhere you want. Amazon, hardware stores, home furnishing stores, home improvement stores. They're just all over the place. So just look around. They're not that expensive, but they will keep you from slipping and sliding. Another thing that I want to talk about when it comes to the Kelim rugs, because I've seen them in my family, being that part of my family also sells these on the wholesale and retail level, that the clients who typically are in the market for the Kelim rugs, they are also in the market for what is something I've talked about in the past, and I cannot tell you how thrilled I am if I were to never see them again, and that is the vintage rugs. And the vintage rugs, I just got an example because and I'm only I'm mentioning it in this video because I have made a video about them. And these are handmade Persian rugs that have been quote-unquote vintaged, that have been basically butchered, over-dyed, and treated in every which way that I do not recommend. But since a lot of the folks who like the Kelims also oftentimes look at the vintage rugs, I thought I'm going to include them because I do believe that this is something that you may want to know about. And so here you have what I call a shame, but I'm just going to use this as an example. This is a vintage rug. This is a Persian rug where, and this became popular about 6 or 7 years ago, where they decided they're going to take Persian rugs, basically shave them, then they're going to over dye them and literally give them, I guess, a worn vintage look. You will see some, if you Google vintage Persian rugs, you're going to see some that are just like in this case, cut into pieces, and you really have to look up close to see the original design. They basically shaved them off. This may have been a piece right here. This is a smaller square piece. It may have been a part of a large palace-sized rug, and they just cut it up. Some places have been stitched together, sewn together, and then they basically submerge it into chemicals, into dyes. But this is where I'm mentioning the vintage rug because I want you to be aware of something, and that is typically the Kelim rugs, which have that same type of a thickness, and this is why I'm mentioning the vintage rugs. The Kelims are typically made with natural wool, natural dyes, like in the case of the Moroccan rugs, as in the case of a lot of tribal rugs, whether they're Pakistan, Afghanistan, a lot of the Persians, they use vegetable dyes. But one thing that they do not do is submerge the carpets after the Kelims, after they're made, into basically what I would call an acid bath. You certainly wouldn't want to walk barefoot in the water or in the solution that was used to basically create this monstrosity. Now, I'm sure that there are a lot of people who like their vintage rugs. I'm sure there are a lot of people who have great things. They love how they look and all that. Well, here's what I can tell you. I would not let my friends walk on these things bare feet, just as there are some things, but just like children. To me, I have absolutely no problems with people walking on the kilims, with children playing on them. I don't care. But the vintage ones, and I have made a video about them below. I'm going to put them in the description below as well. I personally do not like them one bit. But there are people who really enjoy them. I cannot think anything good to say about them. I've also seen how they fall apart after just a few years of usage and everything. So, but the reason why I wanted to showcase it here is to let you know, if you are one of those people and you're looking at Kelim rugs versus Persian rugs and you're not too sure which one to go with, definitely, at least in my opinion, Kilims beat the vintage any day. The Kilims were made not to have a pile. They were woven that way. The vintage rugs, these were actual carpets that had a pile. So if the carpet was originally constructed with a pile in mind, and then you remove the pile, you shave it off so that you can get it to the bare bones, and then you just patch it up, well, you know you got yourself basically a carpet, a piece of flooring that has a whole bunch of patches and sewn up things. So that is why I do not recommend them. So now what I'm going to do is I always do. I'm going to get behind the camera. I'm going to show you some of the details because again, the Moroccan and the Afghan Kilims, very popular with our clients, and so I thought I'd show you some of them, and then as always I'm going to do a quick wrap up. So I'm going to get behind the camera now. So here I am again as always from behind the camera, and to show you some real brief with the Kilims, it's not like the Persian rugs where there is a lot of detailing. The thing about the Kilims is these are they are classified as rugs, but as you can see, there's not a whole lot of pile. So you basically have a rug that is, for all practical purposes, foundation only. But as I mentioned to you, the reason why I definitely recommend the Kilims over the vintage Persian rugs is because the Kilims were woven from the beginning with this strong quality, so that the idea was from the start that there was not going to be a pile. So they are, in my opinion, a much better choice than the vintage rugs. But having said that, obviously it's up to you. The main thing I wanted to show you here, for example, you have the Morocco Kelim here. Really nice pieces, very traditional. But the thing is, with the Moroccan Kelims, you'll notice the weave. These are made typically in the Atlas Mountains. Beautiful, beautiful area. It's almost like stepping back in time. And actually the same thing goes from what I understand about the villages in Afghanistan. Unfortunately, you know what, there have been problems, as is the case in many countries, where you have typically the villagers, they're always on the receiving end of the stick. That's unfortunately the way it seems like it's always been. I have nothing but love and respect for the people. Doesn't matter where they're from, whether it is the Moroccan, whether it is the Afghan. It is always the poor people and the ones that weave these types of carpets. They are literally on the receiving end of the stick. That is how I've put it. But this is not a political channel. This is all about Persian rugs, and the reason why I wanted to show you this right here was to show you the difference in the weaves. The one on the right, this is Afghan. The one on the left, this is Moroccan. It's also different type of wool. So you have sheep versus goat. But different type of material, different type of wool, different type of a weave. But the thinking behind both, very much the same. It's the same thing with the Persian Kelim rugs. So it just so happens that we have a line of contemporary designed Afghan Kelims. And I'm sure there's going to be future videos where I'm going to be featuring other pieces as well. But like I said, so there you have it. I thought I'd just briefly grab my phone and show you some of the details here. So I hope the close-ups are of help to you. Again, as always, I'm going to say my goodbyes to you guys now. So I'm going to end this part of the video right here. So there's our second part of the video. I hope you enjoyed the second part of the Kelims. Again, the link to our first one is below. And also, if you like our channel, if you enjoy Persian rugs, if you like to get information about them, please feel free to click that subscribe button. Join our club of fanatical rug collectors. And if you do, we welcome you. And as always, if you have questions, put them in the comment section below or visit us at mprugs.com. But again, my name is Mike. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you the videos. Hope you and your family are doing well during these times. And wish you well. And I'm going to be seeing you again with our next video. Best wishes. Take care. Bye-bye.